You want an M&M?
Oh, no, that is so sweet. Thank you, though.
Yeah. I keep them here at my desk so that everybody doesn't take them. Now you know how I feel sitting next to those M&Ms all day.
Well, why don't you just move the M&Ms?
Well, why don't you shut up?
Brian Baumgartner joining us, of course, Kevin from The Office. And it's great to have you, Brian. I am a massive, massive fan of yours and of The Office. You are a Dodger super fan, which we'll get to as well. And then, I got this clown sitting next to me if you want to say hello to him.
Thanks for having me. I mean, based on the fact of what you just said, I know already you're way smarter than the guy sitting next to you. So,
yeah, what's our running thing? And I tell people this. What do I tell you every time you bring up your show? I've never watched it, but now after seeing that clip, I feel like I should. It was kind of funny.
Well, here's the thing, AJ, and I mean this with all respect to everyone else besides you. I don't need you to watch it.
Yeah, there's a few 100 million others.
No, I know.
Pick up the slack for you.
There's a million. Everyone I know loves it. They think it's you love it.
I love it.
My brother-in-law thinks it's the greatest show of all time. He loves it. So I mean, I might have to tune in now. It's on Comedy Central.
Yeah, there's
every 5
syndication
minutes.
Everywhere. I've seen every episode, Brian, and then I don't like rewatching things. It's one of the only shows or movies I can just have on and keep seeing the same episode. So props to you. I'm not the first person to tell you that, but we appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much.
You want to get into a little Dodger talk first?
I mean,
we just talked about Shohei.
Here's the thing. Is there any reason this year to talk about any other team?
Well, you heard what Mookie said, right?
What did he say?
He said that for every team playing them, it's going to be like the World Series for them in the regular season.
Well, yeah. No, I know. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. They don't have anything else to play for. That's what I'm saying.
Where were you when you heard the Shohei Ohtani news, and what was your reaction?
For me, it's not well, because of some of the quote unquote experts and insiders in baseball, the drama was there at the end, which maybe that was constructed. For me, it was evident for the last year. I mean, I feel like all of the moves that the Dodgers made, or more specifically didn't make, before last season, indicated that he was the guy and he was going to come. And whether they knew it or not, I think they were going to make sure that he was there. So I really spent all of last year assuming he was going to be there. For me, the thing that's really was surprising is that they managed all the other guys that they managed to get in addition to him. That was the part that was surprising. And I guess someone just told me this. I've been on the road almost the last 3 weeks, but that Yamamoto said that he was coming regardless. Is that right? That was the quote?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
With or without Shohei.
That's right. With or without. That's what I heard. So that was surprising to me for sure.
Hey, by the way, now the Dodgers payroll matches your Georgia Bulldog payroll for your shitty hat you have on. So, I mean, now they have equal payrolls.
I had on headphones and she told me I didn't need them. And so I immediately grabbed this hat, which I wanted to wear.
Where's your Jets hat? Where's your Jets hat, you traitor?
I think it's downstairs.
I mean, you were a Packers fan and you're a Jets. I mean, it's
he's a Rodgers fan.
Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
I just got back. I'm coming to you live from my home, but I just got back from Las Vegas for the game. I don't know if they've been saying this everywhere else. They certainly were saying it there that, every Super Bowl should be there. Every Super Bowl.
You think so?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think the owners will let it happen because of how much revenue it generates for their own individual cities. But in terms of experience, I mean, you think about it anyway. If you've ever been to Vegas, the infrastructure, I stopped going to some of them because of a lack of infrastructure in some of the cities. I just knew it was going to be a disaster. I mean, in terms of transportation and venues and hotel rooms and places to go. I mean, Vegas is literally set up for it. I've had the opportunity to go to, I don't know, 7 or 8 of them now. And I mean, it does, you can't even, it's sort of like the Dodgers in baseball this year. You kind of can't even compare the experience to any other city, including like New Orleans, Miami, and the ones that, they like to go to.
So are you saying that baseball is going to thrive in Vegas?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think the issue. Well, let me say this. I went to the stadium for the first time in that's Allegiant Field in November, and I sort of and actually against the Packers, and I had sort of heard like that it was going to be 90% the visiting fans, because if you're in Pittsburgh or Green Bay or New York and you have the opportunity to follow your team 1 week during the year, you're gonna choose to go to Vegas and pay whatever it takes. I was actually surprised by how big the home crowd was, even against the Packers. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Packers fan, but you think Packers, Dallas, they have such a national fan base. I really expected it to be huge, and it really wasn't. And so, I mean, the local community, and obviously you look at the Golden Knights and the fan base that they've generated for hockey in Vegas. I think it'll do well. I mean, I don't know where we sit on that. I know the mayor had some kind of weird comments last week, but I think baseball would do great there.
Brian, you're from Atlanta. You went to
Yeah.
SMU. I'm correct? You went to SMU, right? But
I
you're
did.
a Georgia fan. Makes no sense. What? Why?
From Atlanta. The first part of your sentence, AJ.
Yeah, but Atlanta. You went to SMU. That's like, shouldn't you have an SMU? I don't know. I'm just saying. But shouldn't you be a Braves fan? So why on earth are you a Dodger fan? Because the Braves are, listen, if there's one team that people can say can take out your Dodgers, it's the Braves.
Well, here's the thing. I don't root for the team based on that. I am a huge, as you know, huge baseball fan. I love baseball, and I grew up as an enormous Braves fan back in the days of John Smoltz and Tom Glavine and Greg Maddux. I was a huge Braves fan, and if you recall back then, I don't know exactly how old all of you are, but there was TBS. So the two teams you could watch every single week were the Cubs and the Braves, thankfully for me. So when I started working, I was working in the theater and traveling around. And even when I went to college, I could watch the Braves every game because they were on TBS. And then that kind of faded away. And eventually they left TBS. And this was sort of this period before MLB Network. I moved to Southern California. And the truth is, I realized I'm never leaving. I'm never going back to Georgia. I'm going to live in Southern California forever, and I love baseball. And so the first summer, I arrived in the summer, and that first summer, I got in the upper deck, a 10-game season ticket package to the Dodgers because I wanted to watch baseball. And I had traveled all around the country and had followed the Braves. But I realized I wasn't going to leave. I got the Dodgers season tickets, and then gradually I increased the games, and my seats got a little better. But I was a season ticket holder for the Dodgers, and I just sort of made the decision. I want to be able to go to games. I love the game. I want to be able to watch the games on TV. So I became a Dodgers fan then.
Okay, well, you're not Mary Hart. You didn't have Mary Hart's seat back there. You didn't have, you weren't front row. And then were you one of the Dodgers fans that showed up in like the 5th inning and leaves in the 7th?
No, no. I mean, my ticket. Yeah, my tickets were behind third base for a number of years. Probably the best tickets I ever had actually were not the closest to the stadium, but I had I managed to get first row of the loge, which at Dodger Stadium is still pretty close. And those were the best seats I ever had because you sat up a little bit. I was essentially right behind, just perpendicular to third base, so I could see everything so well. And I probably had those seats 6 or 7 years, and they were my favorite actually.
Well, you mentioned Smoltz, and
Yeah.
I think that pod came out today, right? the Smoltz conversation?
Today, I had a conversation with Smoltz. I mean, I couldn't have AJ on. He's already been on my podcast, Off the Beat. Yeah, Smoltz came on talking about pitchers and catchers reporting. Baseball season is on, and really, I talked to AJ about doing this podcast. So what I needed to do for mine was to have Fox's number one analyst on for my podcast, and then appear on the Fox's number two analyst podcast as a guest. Yeah,
that was good timing by you. It's amazing how you worked that out perfectly. By the way,
just how I threaded the needle.
I mean, yeah, that is like about as perfect as you could thread the needle. I mean, it's okay. You know, we tried to have Steve Carell on, but he was busy today, so we went with someone else in the office.
Do you know what, AJ? He's going to be busy for you for a long, long time.
That's good. Hey, can we get something Kevin related? Like, I don't know. Have you ever been asked like to do Kevin as a Dodger fan, or any of your famous lines that you can kind of baseballize? Like, give me something that you get recently that you're able to throw out there.
Well, I'll tell you this is my favorite my favorite story. Everybody wants to talk about the chili, and as AJ knows, everybody wants to talk about the chili. I'm sitting in a bar. I'm traveling for work. I'm alone. I'm like buried in the corner. I'm on my phone, like just trying to be inconspicuous. And I just finished eating, and a hotel bar. The bartender comes over, or sorry, yeah, one of the bartenders comes over and puts food down in front of me, and I don't even look at it. I just I look up at him, like, and I just say, "Oh no, sorry, no, I just finished." And as I said, like almost like one of those, like, I don't know, movies from the 50s or 30s or something. The bartender like leans down on the bar, looks at me and says, "This is from the woman at the end of the bar." And I look down, and it's a bowl of chili. And I look down at her, and she's like giving me the like, yeah, pretty clever, right? And I legitimately laughed pretty. I thought that was pretty clever.
Didn't you do you like judge chili cook-offs and stuff for charity, don't you? I've seen on your Twitter, your Instagram.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, I never,
look at this.
There it is.
Wait, but Kevin, this went viral last night because it was right before the Giants actually made a pretty big signing of Jorge Soler, but Casey Pratt is actually coming on the show tomorrow. That was booked a while ago. Live look at the Giants and A's rushing in to hype their baseball product now that the Super Bowl is over. It's so good. And I looked at that. I'm like, guess today, guess tomorrow. This is just perfect.
Tell Casey, well done. What are the A's going to Vegas? Is it done, guys? Tell me the inside scoop.
Well, we had David Sampson on yesterday saying he doesn't know if it's necessarily going to happen. Even today, Will Leach, who said he was out there at the Trop site, he's like, I don't know how they're fitting a baseball park there. Most parks have way more room, and it was originally going to be retractable. That's gone because the owner doesn't want to pay for it. Shocker. So it's going to be a dome, and then you need even more space. They have 9 acres to work with. They haven't put out real renderings. They do the fake renderings when they first make the announcement and try to get the public to pay for a lot of it. But those are fake. They don't have the real renderings. And it's been like 8 months. So I'm starting to get concerned that someone can't even draw up what this thing would look like in that space.
Wow. Yeah. I was reading the stories there. I think that broke when we arrived. Wow. It's been a long weekend. On Thursday that the mayor had said, like, maybe they should stay in Oakland. And I thought, that doesn't seem like what the messaging you want to get out there. But I mean, I made the jokes about the Dodgers. I do think they're going to be good. It remains to be seen how, whether Shohei could come back and pitch next year. But I will tell you, I had a I did play golf with Dave Roberts here in the off season, who lives not too far from me. And by the way, hell of a guy. I don't know if you've had him on, but hell of a night. I've never heard anyone who knows Dave Roberts and doesn't like Dave Roberts. But he's excited about all of their potential as well.
Tell me about the name Kevin Malone. Is there significance in, did you choose that name? You're smiling, like, is there, or was that chosen for you? Because there's some background that the chat has let us know, and I want to see if there's any correlation that is that where you came up with the name?
Wait, where did this come from? Where did this come from?
In our chat.
Okay.
In our chat, they said your name, your stage name on there is Kevin Malone on the show.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And it is also it was
general manager
Dodger.
of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So I will tell you this. Why I was smiling was because my brain was trying to figure out if I have ever told this story publicly, this is what makes it weird that it was in your chat. The name when the show was created, when the script was written, this is true, was Kevin. And it was, the Office was based on a British version of the show. That character's name was Keith. I don't remember if he had a last name, but my character's name was Kevin, and there was Angela, and there was Phyllis, and there was Stanley, and there was, Jim, and I can't remember how far it extended, but I did not have a last name in the pilot episode of the script. And Greg Daniels came to me sitting on set one day and was like, okay, well, we need, hopefully the show is going to go more than just this episode. We need a last name. What do you got? And I just said Malone. And it was not a conscious, like, I'm going to take that gentleman's name, but I was a Dodgers fan. I was aware. And so I believe that the recesses of my brain was thinking Kevin Malone, the general manager of the Dodgers. And so I said Malone, never thought about it again. And, and now I feel a little bit bad about that, but anyway, it happened. But it wasn't stolen, but it was from me. It was from me. And I think I sound like a comedian now who tells a joke and was like, oh, I didn't realize I was stealing that joke. It was just something I thought of. Maybe I heard it before. Yeah. I mean, my guess is, that's exactly what I was thinking. But it was sort of didn't until the show kind of became bigger and it became like my name on the show. It was, that's
what would have been a better name?
Euclid?
Kevin Perzinski.
Euclid? Yeah.
Kevin Brown.
Brown. It worked out for me because there was a couple of episodes. Eventually, in the end, I sort of go and run an Irish bar. That Scranton, Pennsylvania, where the show takes place, has the second largest St. Patrick's Day parade in the country to Boston, I believe. And so that was mentioned on the show. We actually spoke for years and years. People asked me in terms of shooting the show what my biggest regret was. My biggest regret was we didn't go and film on site for the St. Patrick's Day deal. But, there's some pictures I'm sure somebody will pull up right now of me like on the fictional St. Patrick's Day, wearing like green and a coat and a tie and a whole deal. So the Irish thing kind of worked out for me, given that the show was in Scranton, but was certainly not smart enough to even think about that at the time.
Wait. You mean you didn't film it in Scranton? You didn't film The Office in Scranton? I'm so disappointed. You could have been a Rail Riders fan.
I am a rail rider. Trust me, I'm a big rail riders guy now. I'm a big rail riders guy. Actually, when we started the show, there was and by the way, you talk about Kevin Malone, and you're going to have to go talk to BJ Novak or Greg Daniels about this. There was another character on the show whose name is Ryan Howard. On our show, there's a character's name who's Ryan Howard, and here's a little Easter egg for you. Ryan Howard, I the timeline I'm going to mess up, but the Scranton, before it was the Rail Riders, before it was the Yankees, the Scranton Yankees, Scranton was the AAA affiliate for the Phillies, and there was a player by the name of Ryan Howard who played in Scranton on the Phillies, either rehab or I don't remember the story. And on Dwight's desk, who he has a bunch of bobbleheads, I don't know if it was there the whole time, but he had a Ryan Howard bobblehead there in reference to the player and to the Scranton AAA affiliate. But in addition to that, I think there was a wink to the fact that we had a character by the name of Ryan Howard who was played by BJ Novak on the show.
He wasn't a very good player, was he? Ryan Howard,
Ryan
MVP?
Howard,
I mean,
borderline Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, he was a terrible player. I mean,
That's actually crazy though, because also, I mean, Jim ends up working in Philadelphia with the sports marketing group and all that. So the baseball names that are weaving together are actually making sense. You figure, it's just random. They're probably not baseball fans, and this is actually a lot of fact finding for me.
Okay, but while we're on the air, I got to ask Brian this, and he'll probably say no because he's this type of person. Let's make a bet. I get the field, and you get the Dodgers to win the World Series. If the Dodgers win, I'll wear a Georgia hat or shirt at let's say the Hilton Grand Vacations tournament next year.
No,
but
it's a Gators game.
No, hell no, that's not happening. That definitely ain't happening. But if someone else wins, you have to wear a Florida shirt or hat for the first round at the LPGA next year.
Well, here's the thing. Number one, I'm a big sports guy. Number two, I'm a smart guy. Number three, I'm a gambler. So let me just say this. let me just say this. AJ, he and I have had these conversations before. If let's just say we can be specific. We could say MGM, or we could just say Vegas. If Vegas has the odds for the field and the Dodgers 1-1, then it's a bet. And if they don't, then no. I don't make bets where I'm at a disadvantage, whether or not I think that it's true.
How about this? Can I put? I like being the mediator in between here.
Okay.
AJ in the first round of the celebrity pro-am thing will wear a Georgia sports bra for the whole round, and you will wear a Florida shirt. So it's not a 1-1. There's definitely more.
That's
AJ's getting better money.
That's done.
But wait, I didn't agree to sports bra.
Yeah,
like a nice Georgia.
Like I can cover it, right? If it's cold.
No.
No.
What if it's like? I mean, last round I teed off. It was 35 degrees.
Well, then don't make the bet if you don't.
I did.
Yeah, if you don't believe in it,
you're making
don't make
bets
the
for
bet.
other people, Kratz.
I'm just trying to level the money because it's not even.
No, we're gonna find. We're on
like-
BetMGM right now. We're gonna find the odds out.
Dodgers are plus 360 to win the World Series right now, which is actually way ahead of anyone else.
Braves are second, I think.
Yeah, plus 600.
Yeah, but what's versus the field?
Wait, then how this works, sorry, let's just call it, so the field would be minus like 320.
Yeah.
If you do the math. If you bet no to the Dodgers, then you're taking the field and you're paying. Yeah, so maybe it's more than that. Maybe it's bra and undies. Maybe it's both.
I want AJ to be able to play in the tournament again.
Yeah, seriously.
I know.
Yeah, if I show up on the first tee in a sports bra, I'm going to be kicked out for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be worse than missing the cut.
We'll discuss it. We have a little time. Let me see if I can think of something. Look, I mean, how can I not feel good? But here's the thing about baseball, as you guys know, way better than me. You got to be playing well, and you got to stay healthy and at the right time. So I mean, I'm not stupid. Of course I'm gonna like flex a little. I have to. The off season has been remarkable, and obviously that counts for absolutely nothing if everybody doesn't get the job done. So it's going to be a fun and exciting season for sure.
I'd say that I would wear a Georgia hat or shirt at Florida, Georgia, and Jacksonville, but the World Series isn't over by then, so it's kind of a tough. It's a tough bet to make because
it might be.
if I walked in a Georgia something, people might die on the Florida side if I walk in Georgia's shirt or hat. Because all the people that have come to expect me to throw the party of all parties, they would be like, what's wrong with the world right now? Like the world is spinning backwards. That would be, but the problem is the World Series usually isn't over by then.
Yeah, well, actually the schedule's been released now, so I don't know what the date is. It's late October,
yeah,
right?
But the World Series now runs to November, so it's like
the Dodgers will be out after the wild card round.
Yeah, Diamondbacks probably get them again.
Oh,
I'm looking for the sketch here real quick. Florida, Georgia
is October 27th-ish.
November 2nd.
Oh,
you're actually in good shape this year.
Oh,
when's the World Series?
World Series should be done by then.
Come on, let's do it. Come on.
Ooh, no, I don't know if this is worse than the sports brawl thing.
What do you say, Brian?
So here's the thing.
What's he gonna do?
Here's all I need. You in a Georgia gear jersey, and you can't cheat. You can't have like a Florida hat on or something. It's got to be Georgia gear, and at your tailgate. Okay. The whole time, and then on the field, at least one jumbotron shot, so that the entire stadium sees you in that. Then during the game, I'll let you change. Like then you can change, but I need that. I need the tailgate when everybody's walking by, and I need the jumbotron shot for everyone to see and I'm getting real freaking specific. Not when everyone's still outside, like within 20 minutes of the start of the game.
So you mean between 3 and 3:30, basically. You need that between when everyone's starting to. Okay, but then what are you going to do? Because that seems like a lot. You wear the sports bra.
No, what? No, what are you talking about? No, that's not a part of it.
We're going to discuss this, and we'll get back.
Right.
We're going to have to figure something out.
We'll negotiate.
Have to figure something out here.
Yeah,
we got to get
negotiations. Yes,
we'll lock it in. BetMGM style, the odds and BetMGM. We'll have it.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a prop bet. Sports brawls and sports brawls and
right. It's 3-1. That's fair. Kratz, you got one more. I got one more.
By the way, I got to dye I still owe Fish Lens a red hair dye, so maybe we can incorporate that.
That's true.
Also.
Yeah. You got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. Perfect.
All right. One last one from me.
Okay.
Do you beat AJ if you go back on Celebrity Jeopardy?
100%.
AJ,
you haven't been on it.
Smart.
You haven't been on it before, right?
No.
Oh, we got to line that up.
100%. 100%.
Are you the person on there when they have you seen all the clips of when they go down the sports reels and all of them are like they're like Joe Namath and Joe Montana played this sport and they're all like beep, beep. What is lacrosse? Is that what you did when you were on there?
No, here was my problem. I will stand by this. Well, first, my problem. So in the Celebrity Jeopardy deal, it's not like the regular Jeopardy deal. It's 3 rounds and it's an hour. I got through 3 rounds. So what is it? 6 categories, 3 rounds. So 18 categories. That was quick math. Zero freaking sports questions. 0 categories in sports. We had what was my favorite one? Joyce Carol Oates. Okay, ready? That was the category. Is this James Joyce? Is this Lewis Carroll? Or is this Joyce Carol Oates? That was a freaking category. All right. And you know what I did? I was like, I was like, Lewis Carroll is Alice in Wonderland. Just ready. It's got to be. There's got to be one. Like my brain is going. There's going to be one Alice in Wonderland. There's going to be one Alice in Wonderland. Get ready. Get ready. Get ready. And then I didn't buzz it. I couldn't do it fast enough. That's the thing. That's why I said if you've never been on, it's the buzzer. It's not the brain. It's the buzzer.
Were you like Rosie Perez in White Men Can't Jump? Letters that start with Q, or foods that start with Q.
With Q.
And going through the whole thing like that.
Quince.
Yeah. Quiche.
Quiche. All right. Here's my last one. Oh wait,
Okay.
is our mic funny right now?
Mine?
Congrats, is it okay? We're good? Okay, cool. So Kevin, my personal favorite Office episode.
He just did it.
I just did it.
He just did it.
I reversed it. Brian, my personal favorite Office episode, I apologize, is when Kevin is acting like he needs help with Holly. I'm sure you've heard this before, right? So I was trying to like spin this to some baseball perspective because the scene when she's helping him count change and he's at the vending machine and she's like, oh, you have whatever, 75 cents you can get at the top. I actually kind of thought about it with your Dodger pride is your team can go up to many other teams right now and say, oh, you only have $10 million to spend this offseason. You can get that tier of free agents right there, okay? We're going to go sign Ohtani, Yamamoto, trade for Glass now, and sign Teoscar Hernandez just for fun. What do you think?
That was a really well executed incorporation of The Office, and because of that, I'm gonna give you a little something that you wanted before. So that scene right there, if you go back and look at it, I could not laugh. Amy Ryan, fantastic, Oscar nominated actor. I couldn't not laugh at her face. And it was her face looking right into my eyes with such care and such consideration as she's counting out the change in my hand. This is a quarter. This is a dime. This is a button. And she would say, this is a button. And the whole idea of her having to tell me what a button was so, and her face, I could not laugh. And so I did what any spectacular actor would do was I looked at the script and I knew that the next line out of my mouth, like, so the camera at the end of that cuts to me and I'm smiling. You go back and watch. I am smiling. It wasn't a full laugh, but I was smiling because I was about to laugh. And I looked at the camera, but I knew the next line that I was going to have to say was, I'm totally going to bang Holly. And so I used the smile to move into that, and that's how that scene was made.
Wow, that is good. It was that challenging. It's good. He could be like, hey, because Marlins or Guardians teams that have done nothing, like, that's a button. You can't do anything with that this offseason.
The only thing I can compare it to baseball is the time when, I'm sure you know Jeff Francoeur, Brian, when they pretended they had the deaf guy on the team, and he went with it for like 4 months, and he's told the story, and everyone, if you ever YouTube it or Google it, I mean, he literally thinks this guy is deaf for like 3 months, and the whole team is in on it except for him. And he's going up to him, he's like, yeah, that a boy, like screaming, like hoping he'd hear him. And he always had to wear headphones around him. And he's like, I don't know how he didn't laugh.
Oh my God. That's so amazing. It's so amazing.
Carried it for a long ass time, but that's really good. Well, this was awesome. Really appreciate the time. Of course, again, as we'll put it on our socials, check out the podcast. There's some good baseball tie-ins for many of our fans. And it was a pleasure, Brian, speaking with you. And we'll look forward to whatever negotiations take place. Yeah, go ahead. Get it out of the way because you're going to have to wear Georgia gear at some point.
Wow.
Never.
Go Dogs. Go Dogs.
There it is. Yeah.
Thank you, Brian.
Go
It was a
Braves.
pleasure,
Go
man.
Braves, okay?
All right.